so long as like alchemy.
Game 5, we all the way live in Houston. Now, I'm operating under the assumption that most of you already know the results of this game, so forgive my tone, but you see right away the backdoor cut trying to take advantage of the over-aggressive and overplaying on the perimeter from Houston kick ball. Looney on Harden, and I know Harden shot miserably. He's missed his last 23s, but I think he's starting to figure out Looney a little bit, and he's getting a little more comfortable with Looney on him. You see the quick push in the early trigger 3, and you could tell they came out right away trying to push the pace, but it kind of forced them into some turnovers there. That's the grabbing and the pulling. Draymond had 6 turnovers. Half of them were probably his fault. We know which one was. Clint Capella, I'm tired of seeing him get touched fouled for and ones. He's a miserable free throw shooter. Wrap him up under the rim. Another turnover. That one was on Draymond. Trying to play too fast, but I want to credit Golden State's transition defense because it was a lot of these turnovers. They would force one right back, and there he is sliding, gliding to the rim. So you understood what they were trying to do, but they weren't executing. There's another terrible turnover, and we were just bailed out by the lack of three-point shooting from Houston. Again, 0 of 20 for Harden, his last 23s, and I think his effort on the defensive end is definitely affecting his rhythm. There's KD spinning baseline away from the help and netting the shot. I point that out because he didn't do it nearly enough in this game. I liked his aggression, but there's such thing as being too aggressive. Right here, you either go right over the front of the rim with Chris Paul in front of you, or you dump it to Looney. But him being over-aggressive, he misreads it, tries to go to the other side of the rim and just misses everything. And the thing is, watch Durant. His mind is made up very early on that he's looking for the pass, right? He's not looking to initiate offense there. And I had complimented him about waiting and then initiating, but it's either or with him. It's very black and white whether Durant wants to pass or shoot. There's traditional Warrior ball cutting in the finish. I feel like Durant was just trying to prove himself too much. He made it too much about himself and proving that he's the man. And it really hurt us early on. I think that I'm not telling you something you guys don't know. You watched the game, right? He just forced the issue too much. I will say I think there's an aspect of it where Steph's lack of aggression is kind of forcing KD's hand to be over-aggressive. Jordan Bell got in the game in the first quarter, and look at him stay down. Well, he didn't actually literally stay down, but he avoided the touch foul, learning, and we're going to need him in this series. He's going to, I think, have to stay in the rotation. Clay travels early on, and there was a reoccurring theme of them not seeking contact at the rim. You're going to have to seek, you have to meet force with force, and they weren't doing that in the paint. Jordan Bell jumping the hard trap and surprising Harden there. That's what I like. I just like his fearlessness out on the floor. Gerald Green hit 2 nearly impossible fading J.R. Smith-like threes here in the first quarter that kept them ahead. If not for that, it would have been probably a Warriors first quarter. Watch Bell here. He rolls late, but then cleans it up with a nasty spike. And right now, we're seeing with the Warriors struggling, it's about a mindset. Never mind so much the experience on the floor, it's who's scared and who's not, and Jordan Bell's not scared. Durant turning into the help, and it's a 24-second. Look at David West set that screen there. I want to bring it back. We need to make them feel us. The half-court screens from our bigs can peel off some of that on-ball pressure. We need to set a lot more of those, maybe a Zaza appearance, I don't know, but we need to match their physicality. Watch Jordan Bell tell KD, no, we're going to run the set. Look at him wave KD off from the ball, give it to the point guard on the floor, and make them run action. I thought that was just very telling from the rookie, kind of telling KD, nah, man, you'll get the ball, but let's run what we're supposed to run. It's not just you. He forces again to the middle, gets that one to go. I thought the defensive effort was good, but I thought we had more miscues with our switches than Houston did. Now, they didn't shoot the 3-ball well, but because they had more open looks off the miscues, they hit the ones they needed to. And then Sean Livingston, man, get yourself out the game, dog. And again, back to guys that have been there, veteran leadership. He's not showing any leadership, no aggression, and just being punked by the physicality of this Rockets defense. And you see Draymond not switch, but then he breaks the rules of the game. You reach, I teach, Harden left-hand hammer. You see the extracurricular after. That's what that game 1 tech was about. You see them push the action here. Now watch where David West catches the ball. This is much harder to defend for Houston in switching because the pass can be quicker and the cut can be made quicker. When the pass is up where Clay's from, they can jump it, right? The ball's in the air for longer. When it's a closer pass, there's less margin for error with the defense, and the Warriors took advantage there. And then Steph makes this ridiculous shot, but it's just We all remember Steph completely cooking Chris Paul as a Clipper, and that there's just been none of that. There's Ariza. Some of these turnovers were actually Houston just playing smart and aggressive defense. He gets the turnover there. And look, you must adapt. And Steph's, he's 30 now. But when in previous years, when Capella or someone like that would switch out on him, that was cook time, right? He'd back up and dance on him. Now he's just looking for the cheap foul. Luckily, he got the call on that one. Draymond using Steph's gravity, attacking the rim, and then just gets absolutely roofed. Capella has great timing, right? And Draymond, I'm not going to fault him for this, but you can't always be the bull, Draymond. You can't always be the bull. Sometimes you have to play with a little finesse. He learned his lesson there. Clay trying to push the ball, no chance for D West to chase that down, right? That thing sailed on him, but again, trying to play fast. And then there's Draymond again. Sometimes he makes up his mind too quickly and just rushes the pass. So I'd say maybe 4 of his turnovers were his. Eric Gordon bulldozing Shaun Livingston. 24 points for Eric Gordon, and they're going to need a lot more from him in these final 2 games. And then Livingston. Now, if that's Steph or Quinn Cook or somebody, I understand the kick out because there's someone at the rim. Might not make it. But if you're a dunker, if you're Livingston, Iguodala, or Durant, you need to spike that ball on James Harden. Look at that foul. That's just rewind that if I'm not in sync with you. Watch PJ Tucker push Draymond on that previous play up at the top. That's just insane to me. So there is an element of that. I feel like I wouldn't be doing us justice if I didn't bring it up. KD clear out. I thought he was so aggressive, but then right when he got to the rim, his aggression backed off and he wouldn't seek contact. Now, Chris Paul, this is a different mindset. He had no intentions of ever shooting that ball. He was looking for the corner 3-point shooter the whole time. Therefore, Tucker got it on time and rhythm. Look at Clay in KD's zone. What did he do differently? He turned baseline away from the help. And if you remember, Durant did a lot of that against the Pelicans, but he hasn't for whatever reason in this series. Steph, and look at Gerald Green ride him off the 3-point line. So I don't want to say Steph, we have to acknowledge that part of Steph's struggles is they're completely riding him off the 3-point line. Klay Thompson, how many big shots did he hit in this game to keep us alive? I'll point this out again. This switch never has to happen. Right? Clay can easily fight over that if they want to, and especially because the ball handler's not looking to attack until the switch occurs. He waits for Looney, and then he goes right where he wants to. Now, they'll adjust to that, but I think initially we can pick and choose. KD, just luck, right? That was an awful shot. Let's keep it a buck. Now, I'm assuming most of you have heard the news about Chris Paul, and karma's a bitch, man. Karma's a bitch. Watch Chris Paul right here. So he pulls Draymond down and he gets called for the foul, but he does things like this all game, every game. So I don't feel too bad about poor Chris Paul and his finals dream. So going into the half, the Warriors, there's was rough calls both ways, right? The Warriors head to the locker room. Take a look at the Rockets, bitching and whining and complaining, adding to the reason why I think it's so hard to root for this team. Never mind being a Warriors, rival. Just if you were just an NBA fan, it's hard to like the Rockets, right? Clay comes out of the gate, gets the and one on Clint Capella, and surprise, surprise, Klay Thompson not scared of the moment. Steph Curry, this is a pull-up 3 10 out of 10 times when you're watching him play, and instead it's a contested Durant 3 on the other side. So as aggressive and aggro as Durant was, he's sitting there watching Steph do that stuff, so it's kind of forcing him to do even more so. There he is with the turnover. And then Steph, understanding he should have taken that shot, what does he do next time down? He forces one off balance because he's like trying to make up for the fact that he didn't take the one he should have taken. And then third quarter, this is where Chris Paul really just took off. You see the score, 49-49, and he just went into a zone. And you have to, I don't like him. In fact, I think I might hate him. But I admire his guts. Clay, you see that drive and kick to KD on time? He had no intentions of driving. He knew he was kicking to that corner the whole time. Steph split. Jordan Bell makes the read. There's Warrior basketball out of the high pick and roll. And I do think the Warriors would have probably pulled away in this third quarter if it weren't for this guy. And, he knew that too. He understands. Everybody knows the Warriors are a third quarter team. So Chris Paul saved his load, if you will, for that third quarter. And Durant, let's just face it, man, he's not a very good decision maker. He's just not. But there's good transition defense. Clay, I thought Clay moved very well. He had some brain farts, but his movement looked very good. There he is, corner 3 out in transition, considering we were kind of, watching the knee. He moved like he was 100. Steph pushing the ball. KD, no, why don't you take it? And I had mentioned this in my pregame. I think Durant needs to pull some of these threes from out there. The defense is sitting, like I had said, on the mid-range, and he really isn't shooting threes. And that's going to open up the mid-range if he shows the threat of the 3, and then this happens, man. And when this happened, it was just such a bad omen on the night, right? And I'm not a big fan. I like what Steph said after. I think he handled it maturely. But in the moment, I don't like smiling. Get mad, Steph. It's all right to get mad. Jordan Bell setting better picks than he did earlier in the season. And it was the double screen action, Klay Thompson and Steph high pick and roll, where we had most of our success. Durant with the half-hearted late help. And not only Draymond lets him know, Jordan Bell lets him know. And again, these are just little details. Watching Jordan Bell out there, he ain't scared, man. He's going to be able to play through the remainder of these playoffs. I'm not saying he's going to play 25, 30 minutes. I'm just saying Bell can be out there in crunch time. He's not afraid. Now watch Steph right here, right there. That's the step back shot that we're accustomed to seeing Steph take. But Houston's been so aggressive, not allowing him to shoot, that it's completely out of his mindset. Look, he's not looking for the step back anymore. At this point, I think it may be there. Now it's the counter.
When MJ was with the Bulls, we had a playoff game, and he kept trying to score. And he was scoring, but we weren't getting anything going. Phil Jackson said, "Who's open?" I said, "John Paxson." I want you to trust your teammates early. What you're doing is you're getting to the rim, and then you're trying to hit them. I want you to trust the first guy, and then move. Still attack, still look to score, but trust these guys, okay?
And so some of those previous plays I'd highlight, I was alluding to that statement right there. And then I'm going to hold it here. That's when the pass should be made to Quinn Cook in the corner. Now you say Chris Paul's under the rim, okay, fine. But you see he gets hit here, and he draws the foul. But he's just so hardwired to look to score that he's not, he's either super predetermined, but once he heads downhill, it's almost like he's got to score because that's what he's been doing his whole life. And he's just not making the pass early enough, and it's breaking our rhythm, and he needs to trust that he may get it back. He's already compromised the defense. Swing the ball, and you may get it back. Here he is again, same scenario, only Cook's on the strong side. Right there is where the pass is made. Trust, you may get it back or get it in time. Instead, he takes another step, and now Quinn still got a good look at it, but it's the details, man. It's the timing is everything, and that's what Steve Kerr's alluding to. The passes are coming out late to him, something he experienced playing with Russell Westbrook. Chris Paul's degree of difficulty was on 10 in this second half. There's Steph off the slip from Klay at the top, and it causes confusion. When you have the two shooters there, Houston is not sure that how they want to play it, and it generated some open shots. And here's the problem with David West and Chris Paul. I thought he did an admirable job, but I think Chris Paul has a little extra something for David West, right? The former teammates. I think he sees David West and his eyes get bigger, and then he hits the double clutch three. And when he hit that, you're like, dang, I don't know if we can win this, right? Steph, the pass, Livingston, get out of there. That's just coward shit. He doesn't even look at the rim with his defender falling down. And that's why Shaun Livingston wasn't on the floor to end this game. Klay Thompson, another big shot, keeping us right there. I talked about Steph and how they're playing him. Here's vintage Steph. Look, there's the separation, but he took an extra dribble before he shot it. Usually he shoots right off the step back. To me, this turnover is on Durant. Like if you saw Durant's positioning there, you throw that ball over the top to him. He's shielding Harden off to catch it over the top, and then when the ball's thrown, he cuts inside. There he is turning into the help once again, and a turnover is generated. Now here's where Steph needs to pull the trigger, man. Pull the damn trigger. And it really put the offense in a bad spot here with the shot clock winding down, bobbles, and it's a turnover. And so everybody, has a piece of the pie when it comes to blame. But I tell you, I'm going to call it how I see it. Durant really just shit himself. There's the full help coming over and blocking shots. Remember when he was blocking 3 or 4 a game in the beginning of the season? Where has that Durant been as far as protecting the rim and coming over? Draymond, the dribble handoff drive, and that's just an effort play. Effort play from Draymond. So here we go, 1-point game. And as amazing as Klay had been offensively, watch him fuck this coverage up. He switches down to Ariza in the corner and yields the wide open look to Eric Gordon. And he hit a dagger in game 4. Would that be the dagger in game 5? Quinn Cook, and it's BDD. This dude, man, I don't know why, I give Draymond a pass on some of his stuff because I think he's working with less. But for him to hit that shot, that's just clutch. And then this happens, y'all. And I'm not going to lie, man, it breathed life into me. I was sitting there thinking we're done. And the second he went down, I was like, we're not done. I'm just telling you how I feel. I'm telling you how I feel. And I think that the Warriors have lucked out, and Chris Paul going down has changed everything. Now, by the time you're listening to this, they've announced he's not playing Game 6. He's not going to play Game 7, y'all. Ariza misses the rebound. Look how quick they call that timeout. Steve Kerr, you call that damn timeout. The identical scenario. Now, I'm sure most of you, like myself, have watched this play several times. There's nothing really to break down. It's just a flat-out mistake. Now, I have a lot to say going into Game 6, and I will go live for y'all, and it will be smooth. I'm going to change my format. I'll have that Saturday night. I'm out, y'all.